Alright, yo, so this video is about depression, right? Don't mind my blanket. It keeps the sun out when I'm sleeping. Um, um, Speaking of depression, right? And I just went to the gym for like 3 hours, so I feel pretty good. But I'm about to fall asleep in a bit. Anyways, so this video is about depression, right? I want to say depression's like it's like a silent killer. And what I mean by that is it's something that some of us hold inside our heads, whether it's because of childhood trauma growing up, um, life experiences, I guess other stuff, but that's mainly why people are become depressed. Of course, you know, biologically people are more inclined to being depressed because their family has it in their it runs in their family, right? So basically it's a silent killer in a way that, and I'm dealing with this a lot, right? I'm figuring out how to kind of fight this. I've been going to a therapist for like, it's already been like maybe like 20 sessions already. It's with the VA. It's pretty chill. It's online, all that, whatever. And I'll meet with this therapist, right? And it's like, oh, it's different every time. He'll give me like assignments. I do this. Write down why you feel this way in this situation. What makes you feel this way, and why do you, whatever, right? I'm not going to give a session on there. I don't have the knowledge. Basically, in my experience, depression, I've been dealing with it my whole life, and it's really affected my life in a lot of ways. Mainly, it affects my outlook on life. I tend to view things in a really negative light. Every time there's, in every situation scenario, I will find myself thinking how it will go wrong. Um, I think sometimes, why do people want to live? What drives people? Because in my mind, it's like life's played out, right? It's like you grow up, you go to school, you get your degree, you get your career, you get your job, and then I guess the generic thing, right? And it's different for everybody, but the generic automatic expectations are like, you get married, you have kids, you have a family, you raise your family, and then the cycle repeats. And some people go off and they do different things. They become politicians, they become actors, they get famous, they do go into research, they put off having kids. It's different, but the generic thing, right, that's expected for mainly everybody else is grow up, get your education, get your career, have kids, and then I guess they do the same thing. And I think that's really played out because it's like, dude, well, look, I look at it from a different, okay, I guess this is where the depression comes in, right? I look at it and I'm like, okay, so, and I've studied media. My major's in communication. Studied mass media and how the media literally programs people, and if you don't know you're being programmed, you just go along with it. so my outlook on life right now, right, is like, you know, I have my education. I'm about to start this new job, and I haven't dated in a while. But when I was dating, you know, I wasn't trying to have a family, right? I'm only 29. If I do have a family, it'll be like 35 or something. You know, I have my house and I'm blessed with that. But it's like, I look at it like, okay, so I get married, I have kids, and everything, especially now, right, with technology, it's like, okay, so, I'm gonna give if I have kids, I'm gonna give them like books, right, and toys and shit, so they can use their imagination, because that's what I had to do. I had fucking dinosaurs, right? Look, I have a fucking dinosaur back there. And I had to use my imagination, right? It's like, okay, well, this dinosaur comes over here, this one comes over here, they fight, or they team up, and they go on adventures, right? Me and my cousins would take them out to our toys to like parks and shit, and put them on rocks and stuff. We had to use our imagination. So nowadays, it's like, you know, kids are using those iPads, and they're always on their phones, and they're not using their imagination. And I guess I see it like, well, okay, if my kid's not gonna learn like that, it's not gonna grow up like that. It's not gonna grow up like that, but its friends are going to, right? And it's like, well, eventually my kid's gonna be like, oh, well, I want an iPad, or I want a fucking phone, and then they're gonna be addicted to it. No matter what, I mean, yeah, I could put restrictions and stuff, but it's like, my point is, I see life as like, okay, well, then my kids are gonna be mindless consumers, and not entirely, but again, it's like the trend is going to be most everybody's doing it. Oh, come on, Dad, you know, like all my friends have a phone. I want to get. To an extent, they're gonna be on that thing, and it's just like whatever's on that, the trends. My bad. The trends, the products that are being sold, the hype, whatever. And it's like, dude, I don't want to raise a kid in a life where everything's like technology, and now AI is coming in. People aren't gonna be thinking anymore. Books, dude. Fucking ChatGPT. That's another thing. I just go off on tangents. I'm trying to stick to depression. So depression is like, you look at life like that, like, okay, what's the point? I don't want to have kids because they're going to be mind fucked basically by major corporations, the media, their friends. They're going to be influenced by, and then what? So they can become consumers. So they can work hard, become consumers, pay taxes, and die. That's kind of lame. Like, that's depressing. It's fucking depressing, dude. So anyways, it's like, I look at life like that. And it's worse. Here's a tip. If you have depression, as comfortable as it may seem, do not get a job at night. And this job that I'm looking at is going to be overnight. But I say this is because every job that I've had overnight, it just makes it literally like taints your reality. It makes it seem like life is always dark. Life is really dark because you're only up at night. And so all your dark thoughts about, here's some of my thoughts, right? I have chronic pain in my feet and my knees, military, right? And I'm trying to lose weight so it's not as bad. I take pain meds. Those are pretty good. But, you know, I'm not always on pain meds. So it's like, when the pain kicks in, it kicks in and it hurts like a motherfucker. Like, it gets in your head to where you're thinking like, dude, this fucking hurts. I can't think about anything else but the pain. And that gets pretty dark because it's like, well, you know, some days I'm like, why the fuck am I getting up? Why? I should just lay here, because I'm gonna be in pain anyways. All the whole day, might as well just lay here. That sucks. Makes you very irritable. Um, so that coupled with, I mean, you know, straight up, I've had times where I'm like, well, this shit sucks so much. I'm only 29. I'll tell my therapist, like, dude, I foresee this not getting better. And when you look at life that way, it's like, fuck this, dude. Fuck this. I don't want to be alive. Why the fuck do I want to get up every day knowing that I'm going to have pain? I take the same pain meds my fucking 78-year-old grandma takes. Why would somebody want a life like that, right? And you know, I'm going to physical therapy and all that, but it's like, it fucks with your head. So when you're working at night, you already have depression. You know, I've been diagnosed with persistent depressive disorder. I think I also got diagnosed like when I was younger. But like the VA diagnosed me. They're like, dude, you're depressed as fuck. Here's some, what is it, Cymbalta. They're they're cheap as fuck, and they gave me duloxetine. It's like the generic Cymbalta. And so yeah, the depression with the chronic pain. And look, it's just like one thing on top of the other on top of the other. I was also into politics for a bit, and you tend to, when you're into politics, you tend to look at the world with a wider. You look at the big picture, right? You're not so concerned with you know, the work gossip or whatever, or what the neighbors are doing. You're like, oh fuck, like what's our country? Where's our country going? Like who's bombing who now, and who's getting elected and selected. So when you look at life that way, it's pretty dark, because you're like I already know politics is all played out. It's a bunch of actors sucking up to Israel. And whoever sucks up to Israel the most, they get promoted to congressman or state rep, whatever, right? So it's pretty depressing, because you're like, that's fucked up. That's not right. This whole system is just fucked. So that's depressing. So when you have all this, like myself, I have all this stuff that I deal with. It's pretty dark, dude. It gets pretty fucking dark. To where, and I hope this maybe helps somebody, because I hate when people think that's depression's just like, you know, you're just being, I've heard that a lot. It's like, you're just being weak. It's a weak mindset. It's like, I don't know, dude, because, you know, I read a lot too, and it's like, the more I read, the more I start to figure out, like, oh yeah, this is just a bullshit system, pay to play kind of shit. If you're born on the right side of the tracks, you're all good. If not, you better fucking figure it out. And that's fucked up. Now it's kind of sad. So when you realize that, when you start to think, actually critically think, which most people don't do, you're probably going to become depressed. So I hate when people say, you know, oh, it's just a mindset, you can change it. You can, and it takes a lot of work. And also, I'm reading this, my Bible, working on that, also working out, trying to get through this rut and make a better year for 2026. But yeah, sure, it's in your mind, it's in your brain, and therapy helps too, but it's like, you're not weak for having it. I don't understand, or people that say that don't have no idea what depression is, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, because it sucks. It's like, here's an example. If you don't have depression, you tend to look at life with It's like a dark tint is over everything. A dark tint, and your internal in here feels unstable. It's like, damn, I can't think of a good analogy, but I don't know. It's like you're trying to balance blocks on a table that's on a boat that's in a wavy ocean. Like there's the boats, it's a small boat, there's waves, there's a lot of waves and they're heavy, and somebody's sitting there on a little table trying to balance blocks, and it's shifting, and at any point one of those blocks could fall, and then that's sometimes how a depressed person brain feels. And it's hard to understand, but yeah, you also feel like there's a dark tint over everything no matter what you do. And you know, it comes and goes, right? Like I'll have a good day, or I'll have a shitty day and it's really dark, or I'll just have a normal day and it's just kind of dark. And yeah, it's just one of those things where, you know, I changed it up today, right? I was at the gym, and I'll usually watch, you know, a bunch of shit. Like, it's kind of my fault. You know, like with the Charlie Kirk thing, right? It's like, oh, TPU USA is like bullshit and they're lying, and it's kind of sus that, you know, this, that, and the other, and Erica Kirk and this and that, or financial crisis coming up in 2026, or you know, inflation, the world's gonna end. Like it's like my mind's like addicted to that shit, or end times, Bible prophecy, all this stuff, right? And I like it because I'm like, dude, a part of me is like, fuck yeah, bro, like end this shit. It's just the same shit all like, it should come to, something should happen, it should come to an end. And that's also not good. Like, what kind of a person wants that? Well, you know, the world's kind of sick right now anyway, so it wouldn't be bad. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm like addicted to negativity, and I want things to go bad because somehow it justifies my negative thoughts, and it's just horrible. It's horrible. Depression sucks. This new year, I'm going into this new year, I'm trying to work out more like I used to. I used to be super fit. I used to work out a lot. Working out is awesome. If you're depressed right now and you're watching this, go work out, try it. It's not gonna fix everything, but it definitely helps. Water helps. Coffee helps me. I love coffee. Look, dude, you don't gotta go buy Starbucks. Starbucks is played out. McDonald's coffee, $2.50 for a large. My fat ass gets 6 creams, or 7 creams, 7 sugars, which is, you know, why I'm fucking fat. But chill out on the sugar and the cream. It's good coffee. It's cheap. Makes me feel good. I love it after a workout. What else? Gardening. Gardening is awesome. Books, reading books, going on walks. But at night, doing things at night, if you do it a lot, look, I've been working at night a lot because I was going through a point where I didn't want to deal with people, and I'm getting out of that. And you know, it was a part of my mental. It's like, I don't want to deal with people. I hate people. Like, people are annoying as fuck. Like, why does this person do this? Why do they do that? They're stupid. What the fuck? And that was a part of, like, just me being a douche, narcissism, depression, all this stuff that I'm trying to figure out and fix. But the gym, I think it's a lot of anxiety too, hypervigilance that I'm trying to work through. And like I was going out a lot at night, um, not even to like bars and stuff, because that shit's annoying too. But it's just like just working at night, and then sometimes I would just go walking at night, walking in the park, fishing at night. But it gets lonely. It's like it's depressing. It's like, and I'm like, dude, this is like what a fucking homeless person does. Like just walks around at night, avoids people, like sick people. Like not talking shit, because like I'm one of them, but like sick people. Like just meandering at night, wandering this earth. And it gets old. It gets fucking old to where it's like, dude, I miss people. Even if they're weird or annoying, like I miss people. Look, like, dude, this is fucking depressing, but it's, again, I hope this helps somebody. If you want to talk about depression, comment. I don't have a major in psychology. I majored in communication, but we could talk communication. I could say what's up, give you some encouragement. It'll help me too, because I'm dealing with this stuff. But during Christmas, right, I fucking stayed home. My family gathered at my sister's. I stayed home and played Assassin's Creed Unity, which is dope. It's a dope ass game. But I used to like video games, but like when I play now, it's like 20 minutes and I'm fucking bored. And I'm like, this shit's boring as fuck. Like, this isn't real life. This sucks. And I just sat there. Even though I was bored, I just played and played, drank some coffee, pet my dog. Sometimes I'll go outside and burn firewood just to do it. And just watch the smoke. And it was depressing for Christmas. Alone. On purpose. But it's like, you want to ask somebody, well, what goes through your mind when these things happen? Why do you do this? If someone were to ask me why I stayed alone on Christmas, I wouldn't know what to tell them. Sometimes I feel like it's a burden coming around, dealing with my shit to family, because I want to be like, why are y'all celebrating Christmas? That's kind of fucking stupid. Don't y'all know the world's going to shit? AI is coming in. All this sci-fi shit that y'all thought was fake. That's where my mind goes. All this sci-fi shit is coming to life. That doesn't that make you want to stop your holidays and fucking protest or like write your senator and say, what the fuck, dude? So I just stayed home. I think I took NyQuil and I fucking fell asleep. I slept good. I sleep so good with NyQuil. But that's depressing, dude. That's so depressing. That's fucking sad. And it's like, it's the silent killer, because it lives in your mind. If you're not mindful of it, if you're not actively trying to fight it in your head, it starts to like infiltrate everything, and it kills you. It kills your ambition. It kills your sense of self-worth, your sense of self-respect. It kills your relationships. It kills your will to live. And when your will to live is gone, and I've been there, and it comes and goes, because with the depression, the chronic pain, the outlook on life, which I'm working on, your will to live is the worst thing to lose. The worst thing, absolute worst thing. Because what do you do? What do you tell somebody? And I think that this is why a lot of homeless people deal with what they deal with. You know, I used to work as a security guard at a SAM shelter downtown, which is basically a shelter for homeless people that usually are on drugs or recovering from drugs or alcoholism. Um, you know, I'd sit there. I was on my phone. I was reading. Had my gun on me. It was. They didn't need all this security, right? They had a bunch of guards in the front and at every corner in the hallways, on every floor. This is downtown, and you know, you'd see people come in. And I'm gonna end with this. The will to live, right? I think a lot of homeless people, and I'd see a lot of them there. It's like, I think a lot of them have lost their will to live, because it's like you hear these stories of, oh, well, so and so is dealing with this, but they went to rehab and they're fine now. I mean, they got out and they're still doing what they were doing, or they're back on the street and they don't want help. And you know, I've always wondered, like, what the fuck? Like, why would somebody deny help? Why would somebody want to go back to their shitty ass situation, not having a house, living on the streets, wrapped up in a blanket, and like eating once a week, and doing drugs again and drinking alcohol and shit? I always wondered, like, why would somebody do that? But going through what I've been going through mentally, and I'm blessed, you know, I have my house and stuff, and I'm trying to be grateful, right? Fucking asshole, all ungrateful and shit. But I'm working on it. But it's like, well, maybe they lost their will to live. They don't give a fuck. They don't fucking care, dude. They don't fucking care. Like, they could give two shits. Like, they probably want to die, because they're like, I don't even want to wake up. Why? I don't want to do that. I don't want to. There's nothing in life that makes me happy. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why do I want to get up? Why do I want to live? I'd rather just lay here on the street until I die. Sometimes I think that's what goes on in their heads, because I've felt that. But these people would come in, you know, they were rowdy. Some of these characters, right? You always see characters, and I think every veteran's a little crazy. So I'm sure that's why they hire us to go there. There was a bunch of veterans that were guards. But we relate to them in a way, because it's like, we know what it feels like to be used and then kind of discarded, right? And left to fend for ourselves. And, you know, the VA's good, and, you know, benefits help, healthcare helps. But we're never the same, right? Every veteran comes out a little messed up, physically, mentally, both. And so it's interesting, because you relate to them. Anyways, I'll probably do a video on my time over there at the SAM shelter. But depression, it's a silent killer, and I think the best thing to do to combat depression, which I'm working on too, is to be aware of it. Be aware that it's like, you know, something's attacking your mind. Be aware of it. Figure out how to fight it, and be constantly fighting it. And it sucks, but anyways, yeah, if you like this video on depression, comment, you know, subscribe, like my videos. I'm gonna be doing other videos, probably about the SAM shelter, different experiences, different topics. But anyways, appreciate it, and take care, guys.